Hi, on a popular request, I'm going to make this video, and before then I give a shout out to all students in SRS: Mohammed, Mariam, Fatma, Rashid, Ubed, Maktoum, Fahad, Faisa, Latifa, Hamda, Reza, Gala, Shama, my former students in the US. Miss you all, and all my viewers all over across the world, especially those in India. Continue to watch the channel. The highs of 50 students measured to the nearest centimeters and found to be as follows. So these 50 students, we asked them their height, and we have able to collect the data here. Here we want to organize this on frequency distribution. We need a class limit, the tally, the frequency, the cumulative frequency, the relative frequency, the class boundary. Key point that we have to underline is 5 classes. They want us to use 5 classes. If that is the case, we need to calculate our class width, which is the highest number. So you go through all the numbers and see the highest number, which is going to be 173, minus the lowest number. See 150. So the lowest number that happened is 150. So minus 150. And then you divide by the classes, which is 5. Subtract, we're going to get 23 over 5. Use your calculator, which is going to be 4.6. But we cannot have the width of the class as a decimal. We have to run it up to the nearest whole number. The nearest whole number is going to be 5. This is very important. That's the first thing that you have to do. Once we have our class width, then we have to create the lower class. So the lower class, we are starting with the lowest number, which is 150. And then we are adding 5. That to get the next lower limit was 155. You add it again, get 160. We add it again, we get 165, and we get 170. So this is our lower class. Now we have to get the upper. One number we have to put it here. When we are creating the class limit or the class interval, we shouldn't have overlap. So we have to stop one less of 155. So it's going to be 154. The same thing here, shouldn't be overlap, so it's going to be 159. So you realize that you're adding 4 each to get the upper class. So 164, 169, and 170. So now we are going to get our tally. So what number falls in between, numbers between 150 to 154? You go around it and cross it out. This is 1. So you bring your tally, 2, 3, 4. It's one of them. Go through all of it and see those numbers, right? After that, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we get 12. So you're going to get 12 tallies. 5, 5, and 2. So 12. Alright, then you move on to numbers between 155 to 159. So this time around we are going to use a circle. So 155, 59, 155, 59 here. Circle, 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 and circle. Okay, so you count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 9. Okay, and then 160 to 164. We go around it to pick that numbers. This time around, let's use a rectangle. Count the rectangles: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you got 14 for that. So the next one, numbers between 165 to 169. That's one of it. Can cross it out like that through all of it. You count that one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get 10. The last one, you just count whatever is left because that's the only class interval that's left. So you count how many left. Go through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5. This is the most difficult part. Once you get this, the rest of it comes easy. So cumulative frequency, that means you're adding the frequency. It's always start with 0. So put 0 somewhere here, and then you are adding 0 to 12, and then you put it right here. We will get 12. And then you add this up and write it here. Now 21 plus 14, 35. 35 plus 10 will give us 45, and 45 plus 5 will give us 50. So you see that you got that 50. You always have to add up to the total data. The relative frequency, the formula is you take the individual frequency divided by the total frequency. So the total frequency is going to be 50. So where is that? So you take that individual frequency divided by the total, which is 50, and then multiply by 100. And when we do this, we're going to get 24%. You do the same thing here. 9 divided by 50 times 100 will give you 18%. When you are here, it's 14 divided by the total times 100, and that will give you 28%. When you're here, 10 divided by the total times 100, and that will give you 20%. When you're here, it's 5 divided by 50 times 100, and that will give you 10%. When you add all the percent, you will see that you will get 100%. The class boundary, the use of the class boundary is going to help us to do the histogram and realize that histogram have to cluster together. There shouldn't be no gap. So you reduce the lower class by 0.5 and add it to the upper class. We will get 149.5. And we have to add the 0.5 that we took off to the upper class. So 154.5. And here we will reduce it by 0.5, and you realize that it's going to pick this number. So 154.5, and you add it 159.5. Here 159.5, you add it to here, it's going to be 164.5. You reduce this, it's going to be 164.5. You add it to 169, 0.5, and that's going to be 169.5. Yeah, 169.5. You add it to the 174.5. So that's how you get your class boundaries. The class midpoints, it helps you to graph your polygon, frequency polygon. That's what we're going to do in our next video. I'm going to do that, how to create a class polygon. This is going to help us. So here you add it and you divide by 2. So you add 150 plus 154 divided by 2, and that will give you 152. So when you're here, you're finding the midway. You might not even need the formula. What is the halfway here? You realize that from here to here was 4. Don't be confused out with the class limit, okay? So it was 4. So halfway, you just add 2 to that. So it's going to be 157. And here will be 162 as a midpoint. 167 and 172. All right. So now we have able to complete the table. And here, can you make one conclusion or observation? You can use a frequency, or you can also use the relative frequency. That give you the percent. So that make it much obvious. You can see that 28% was the highest. You can say that the most common height among the students is between 160 to 164. That was the most common height that you could say. You can also come here realizing that accumulating 35 of the students were between 60 to 164. So you could also say that you have observed that 35 students are shorter than 164, all right, among the 150. So these are some of the conclusions that you can also draw from the table. Now, what is the importance of Peli? Peli help you to get your frequency. So, and then the importance of the frequency, it helps you to see the number of occurrence of whatever height that you were looking for. That's the importance of that. The importance of the cumulative frequency, it helps you to graph what we call a cumulative frequency graph. That we call it a OGIF. Okay, so that's the reason why it always start from 0 and then it's going up. So the cumulative frequency helps you to do OGIF graph or cumulative frequency graph. The classmate point helps you to do the frequency polygon graph. We call it frequency polygon graph. And then the class boundaries help you to do histogram. Right? And the actual class limit, in case you want to do the bar graph, also help you to do the bar graph because the bar graph doesn't overlap. There's a gap in between. Thank you very much for sticking all the way to the end. If today is your first time, please go ahead and subscribe and see you in the next video.